Hello there, welcome back. In this video we're going to work on the reply to message feature from the perspective of a customer, okay? So the idea is a customer is going to be able to view a message, we'll have a nice reply button here and everything's going to be cool. Now I'm going to start off by viewing the source code and I'm going to grab that section that says compose new message, okay? So I'm just going to search for compose, where on earth is it? Here it is. Just grabbing the button, you know, that's the vibe. So I'm going to copy that and we'll click into a message here. And the idea is that up here we'll have a reply button, okay? So this is on your, whoopsie daisy, I got all mixed up there, hold on. This is going to be on your messages views view.php. This is where the action lives, okay? So if we do something like that and then refresh, I don't like that actually. Sorry. I don't like it. Let's see if we can do something a bit better than that. Let's try here. Let's try this. That's much better, right? And what I'm going to do is just a couple of tweaks here, right? One tweak is I'm going to change this from primary to default, okay, like that, and then I'm going to say reply, just reply, okay. Now here is the question for all of you website usability and marketing guru characters out there. Why do you think I made the button default? And why do you think I said reply instead of reply to message? Have a think about that. The answer shall be revealed at the end of this video, okay? So that's the vibe, and thank you very much indeed. So we've now got a nice button that says reply, okay? Let's have a think about what this is going to do. Now, we've got a code up here. Can you see that? So I'm going to go to your messages, then we're going to go to view, and we do indeed have a thing called code going on here, right? I'm going to pass this code into the view file by saying data code equals code, right? And then when we have this reply thing going on, it's going to go to the URL and it's going to add that code on like so, right? So if anyone tries to reply, check out the URL, right? See, it's carried that across, right? Now, it's probably a good idea, in fact, it's definitely a good idea to just make sure that this person is actually allowed to view this thing. So even though it's unlikely, there is a hypothetical possibility that someone could type in this URL like another customer. It's very unlikely, but let's just try and make this as secure as we can, okay? So if we go to your messages /create, we've got this vibe. If submit equals submit, then it does a bunch of stuff, okay? Does a bunch of stuff, and that goes all the way there, okay? So if submit equals submit, yep, it's going to do all of that. So now I'm going to say else if, and then I'll say else if. So this means submit does not equal submit, and code does not equal something. Now what on earth is all of this code business? Well, I'm going to go up here. Code is this URI segment 3, okay? So the vibe is if code does not equal that, then, now have we loaded up inquiries? We have, that's good. So if the code does not equal that, then I'm going to say something like, yep, something like data equals this, attempt get data from code, and I'm passing in the customer ID. Remember, we have a customer ID variable, and I'm passing in the code, okay? So the next stage is to build this, which will be on inquiries. Okay. Okay, so let's open up the inquiries controller and let's start to build this thing which we are calling attempt get data from code. You'll notice it's a private thing with the underscore at the start there. So here we go, we'll just do attempt get data from code, and the first thing, this is going to do two things, okay? I'll just say something like make sure customer is allowed to view and respond, and fetch data. That's basically the vibe, okay? So the first thing we'll do is we'll say query equals this get where custom, and we're going to get where the code is the code, right? And then we just say for each query loading up result as row, and the vibe is going to be sent to is row sent to, okay? And then we've got, now if you look, we've got a thing called fetch data from DB. Can you see this vibe here? So actually, let's just copy that. Right, here we go. Right, okay, and look at me adding in this like an idiot. Okay, that's us. That's the style. Thank you very much indeed. That is the style. Now, I suppose we could do something like num rows equals query number of rows, and if number of rows is less than 1, okay, so if there's not any rows returned, or nothing actually. I'll do this and I'll move it. Or customer ID does not equal data sent to. Okay, that's the vibe. If those two things happen, then we're going to redirect to site security / not allowed. And of course it doesn't go up here. Yes, indeed. It's going to go down here. Okay, so that should be good. That's now making sure that the customer is allowed to view this, right? I might even leave that in a comment. So make sure code is good and customer is allowed to view and respond. Okay, so that's that sorted. And the next thing is basically just return the data. It's as simple as that. Okay, so back to your messages again. We now have the data, which is very cool. Okay, now I'm going to change the headline here, because if it's one of these code situation things, I'm gonna say, now let me just see, there is a chance, this is kind of complicated, but there is a chance that they could have an update, submit it, then when they submit it, it's all a bit complicated this, but if they submit it and there's an error, right, then in that case, well, they will have hit submit, and we do not want the headline to be compose new message. So the vibe I'm trying to get to here is that we should say something like, if code is equivalent to nothing, then the headline is compose new message, okay? Otherwise, the headline equals reply to message. Something like that, okay? And that's not too bad. If we look at the form location, you'll see that it's sending in. Now, where are we here? Oh, it doesn't matter, right? Your message is create, sorry. your messages / create. Right, and you can see that the form location is the current URL. That's what I wanted to show you. So the code will be carried across. Let's just have a look. I'm going to go back. I'm going to click in like so. And you'll see that this now says reply to message. Okay, this urgent thing here is not working out at all. And so I'm going to sort that out by going to, let's see, so that would be data urgent equals row urgent. I suppose we should add that on to fetch data from DB. Okay, so let's just do that. Urgent equals row urgent, just to be proper. If we hit refresh, everything looks kind of cool. I'm going to take the subject out, okay? So if we go to this views thing here, create even, okay? Now remember, if I was to say echo code die, okay, it does not have the code. So we need to pass the code into the message, right? So I'll say data code equals code. Okay, that's cool. And the vibe is, I'm going to say that right in here, if the code is empty, then we do this subject vibe. Okay. Okay, something like that. Otherwise, we do have a code, so I'm just going to say form hidden, and it's going to be subject and subject. Okay, so if we hit refresh, that's what they get if they send a reply. Okay, they do that, and the vibe is I do not want them to mess about with the subject if they're replying, because it could all become very confusing very quickly, you know. So we're composing a message, everything looks good, and if we go in and reply, everything still looks kind of good. Well, on second thoughts, it was actually pretty rubbish. I never expected it to look as bad as that. I've just, I stopped the video and had a look, and all of these BRs and whatnot are highly uncool. So let's fix that actually. I'm not going to pretend that I'm happy with this, okay? So the vibe is we're hitting reply. You can see that we've got some miserable tags here, right? It should not be too difficult to fix. All we need to do is go into that create function, and right before the page loads, we're going to say data message is this, and I'll just say format message, okay? Format MSG with data message, okay? And we'll just build a little function, nothing complicated, just format MSG. Takes in a message, string and makes it look good for a text area. That's all it does, okay? So the vibe is, I'm just going to say message equals string replace, and we'll replace those BR things with a \n, okay? And we're going to do that to the message. And then I'll just say message equals strip tags, and that's going to be with that, and then we'll just return the message, okay? So if we hit refresh, oh gee, now hold on a minute. Let me just try something else. Replace equals, let me just try something. Got an idea. Spacing is very important here. I've got to keep this tight to this left margin. So if we do something like that and then say replace, how's this? Oh gee, oh sorry, there we go. Okay, that's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. And let's just do that. Okay, now by the way, you see how that looks perfect, right? Hello, can you see that that looks perfect? Thank you very much. Now, if I had, in case you're wondering, if I had gone out here and did something like that, then you'll see how it messes up the spacing. Do you see that? So the trick with this is to keep it tight against that left margin like that. And it looks absolutely fantastic. If we go in and look at other messages, in fact, just to make sure, you'll see that everything, oh geez, well actually that was just a paragraph, I think. What was it? Reply, let me just see. Yeah, that's all cool. I can live with that, that's okay. Alright, now by the way, you know that I'm doing this without notes, folks. There's so many times I've put a video out and as soon as I upload the thing, I say, oh man, I should have said that. Like, do you remember the tokens video a couple of videos back? As soon as I uploaded that, I thought, hang on, I should have checked the URL that was coming in using that refer URL thing, and I forgot to do that. And I thought I could have checked that the token contains numeric characters, it's, you know, with those timestamps. There are so many things that I keep forgetting to do. And I have a bad feeling I'm going to upload this video and say, oh man, I should have. The point, I think, though, and I think you guys get this, is that we can solve problems with just simple functions most of the time. And if there's something that I've forgotten, then hopefully that's something that I would pick up in testing and we can tweak that and everything would be cool, okay? All right. And it looks like Meetup are sending me something. Isn't this great? You get to see all of my emails and stuff and get a tutorial at the same time. Anyway, so I think that's not too bad. We've still got a few tweaks, of course, to do, and let us do that, okay? So I'm going to say if the code, no, let me just have a look here. Attempt to get data from code, right? So that means that the message has not been submitted, right? So we would say data message equals, and it would be something like, let's just do that actually. That'll do. Okay, so, sorry, I'm having one of those days, you know. Data message, there we go. Okay, that's what we're talking about, okay? And you can write your previous messages shown below if it makes you feel good, you know. But something like that is not too bad. Actually, let's do a couple of lines. We'll make it perfectamundo. So there we go, right? So they reply, that comes in like that, and everything is cool. So I'm just going to say thank you. Actually, bring this up. Actually, let me just test something. Okay, that's good. Thank you for sending a reply. I am a happy customer. Okay, everything looks good. Thank you very much indeed. Submit your message. And that's excellent. So if we go to the admin panel now, hit refresh, you'll see that this has come back. Thank you for sending a reply. I'm a happy customer. We can see the previous messages here, and that is the end, a very joyful end to this tutorial. Now, previously I asked, why do you think I made this default instead of blue? And why do you think I said reply instead of reply to message? The answer is because I don't want the customer to reply. You know, I know that sounds kind of crazy and probably even a bit rude, but some of the applications that I've built have been used by, I don't want to show off, but they've been used by companies who are listed on the Dow Jones, and they have tons and tons of customers to deal with and tons of inquiries and stuff like that, and they haven't, you know, companies like Ford, for example, who actually do use one of my apps to run to handle vehicle deliveries. They don't want to be going into long conversations with customers or any decent company actually, and sending messages back and forward for ages, you know. So the reason why I'm going default there and I'm making the button a little bit smaller is because I don't want to encourage customers to reply. I know that sounds crazy. If they want to, they can reply, but I'm trying to kind of make a technical support system that's really efficient and it gets the job done, but does not end up creating situations where we're all, you know, chatting backwards and forwards for ages and ages. So that's the vibe, and welcome to the world of capitalism. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.